Now to a major update to a long-running 48 Hours investigation. This week, the show is looking into the more than 30-year search for a victim of a serial killer. 12-year-old Sara Anne Wood was abducted in New York in 1993 on her way home from church. The man who murdered her is behind bars, but authorities say he refuses to give her family the peace of knowing where he left her body. 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty has been on this case since the very beginning and has the latest on the unending search for Sara.
Dusty Wood was just 16 years old when his sister Sara disappeared on August 18, 1993.
She was an exuberant person. She was excited to be alive.
Sara was last seen riding her bike from church in Sequoia, New York. When she didn't arrive home, a massive search began. 48 Hours cameras were given unprecedented access.
We need to know where Sara is. Please help us find her.
But there were no leads until 5 months later when 12-year-old Becky Savarese was almost abducted by a man in a truck as she walked to school in Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
He said, "Do you see the gun I have?" He's like, "Just do everything I say. Everything would be perfectly okay."
That's when Becky faked an asthma attack.
And I just ran.
Police learned a man named Louis Lent had been driving the truck. At first, Lent denied knowing about Becky, but he soon confessed to trying to take her. New York State Police Detective Frank Lawrence.
We spent a lot of time with him.
Lent eventually also confessed to the kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder of Sara Anne Wood. After pleading guilty, Lent was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison.
Well, she was vulnerable. He was hunting, and he found the victim.
But the guilty plea didn't end the search for Sara.
I handed him a piece of paper, and this is what he drew.
Hundreds searched in brutally cold conditions, but the map led nowhere. For years, New York State Police detectives Reese Treen and John Fallon visited Lent in prison, trying to get an answer to the question, where is Sara? Isn't it difficult for the two of you not to just jump across the table and grab him?
No. One of the things you have to do is you have to leave hate outside of the room when you go in.
Finding the body is important. Then my mother could know where she is.
Erin Moriarty joins us now. Erin, why do investigators believe that they can still find where she is buried after all of this time?
Well, and it's impressive, isn't it, that they are still looking? They're so still devoted to this case. Well, Lent professed to be a religious guy, and he's now in his 70s, and they believe that he might want to clear his conscience and not just say where he left Sara Anne Wood, but there's another young man that he had confessed to and then recanted, confessed to, and they want to find Jamie Lusher's body as well. So they're hoping that over time, also he's known for kind of doling out information over time. And so we thought it's really worth going back and looking at this.
You know, Lent confessed to the two killings, also kidnapping Becky, but yet he stayed under the radar. Detectives investigating him didn't know that he was a possible sex offender. How did he do that?
Well, I have to tell you, that is the scariest part of this story and why it's so important for parents to see this story. Because he hid behind the Bible. He went to Bible school. He helped everybody. In fact, people trusted him so much that they would have him take care of their kids.
Oh, man.
And one of his victims came because someone hired him to work in a cinema, and he would hire kids to help him, and that's how he found one of his victims. So it's a very, very frightening situation.
I hope this family can have closure.
Yeah, Erin Moriarty, thank you so much. You can watch Erin's full report, The Unending Search for Sara Anne Wood, on 48 Hours tomorrow night at 10/9 Central here on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.